All right. Happy Tuesday, my beautiful community of Choose You, Choose Happiness. Christmas is coming along really quickly, and the next couple of days is going to be a beautiful celebration. So, I have today with me a wonderful guest. I just love her energy. It's so juicy to be around her. But it's Lauren Donohue. Welcome onto the show of the Choose You, Choose Happiness movement.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and connect with you and your community, and especially during the holidays. It's just a fun time of the year.
Yes, it is. And for some people, it's a bit of a struggle. So I've been kind of doing little contents for those who may be finding it hard because some people lost a loved one or somebody that they care. And so the holiday
Mhm.
might not be as festive. So I'm mindful of some of those people as well. So we always want to bring joy, but we also want to bring like some stuff to kind of keep inspire them. And today we got the perfect person to actually help inspire that. So let me do a little bio of Lauren. Okay. So, Lauren is a wellness leader, a retreat facilitator, and the creator of Unplugged Mornings, a nine-step process designed to help people disconnect from chaos and reconnect with themselves. Isn't that a perfect kind of fit with the Choose You, Choose Happiness movement? I love it. And her nine-step mind blowing. And she does it so beautifully and so zen and so peaceful. And there's no like, you must do this. It's like, here are some of the things that has worked for me. Pick and choose what works for you and just go with it. As long as you're doing it, that is the success. I just love your vibe. Like honestly, I can't say enough. So let me continue with her bio because she says way, way more than that. So this is just a small little glimpse of her bio. So she's an adventurer at heart. Lauren has climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, lived 60 days in a cave. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And was selected as one of 50 contestants from over a million applicant on a major NBC reality competition. I want to hear that too. With a background as a certified personal trainer and a studio owner, her fitness and mindset work has reached hundreds and thousands worldwide. She is the founder of Rise Wellness, where she leads transformational retreat across the globe, including Camino de Santiago in Spain. Did I say that properly? I hope I didn't mess up the accent. Okay.
No, it's perfect.
And mentor leader on how to design and launch their own impactful retreat. Her work has been featured in major media outlet and she is recognized as the woman of influence in Los Angeles. Her mission is so powerful. I can't wait to dive in and hear more. So that's just a little bio. So please welcome Lauren with me. I can't wait to hear her story. So talk to us with regards to you being in the cave for 60 days. I am claustrophobic. I can't even stand to be in a certain location for more than 5 minutes. So how was that experience? So how did you find yourself in a cave?
Yes. It's one of the biggest questions and the biggest curiosities of most people. So I'll go and give a talk and I'll just barely kind of like slide that in there about the cave because I learned my biggest life lessons in there. And at the end, I think that they're going to ask me questions about these really inspirational moments and wisdom and everything. And they just want to know about the cave. They're like, so what did you eat? And how did you go to the bathroom? And, right? And I was like, okay, so people are really curious about this cave. And what's interesting is I grew up in Kansas. There's not a lot to do in Kansas besides play sports. So I played a lot of sports growing up. My grandfather is a huge role model in my life. And most everything that I say that resembles wisdom is definitely from him.
Mhm.
And so after moving to California when I was, I think, 21 years old, I fully lost my identity because my identity was attached to sport. If I wasn't a part of a team and playing sports, I quite literally didn't know. And I didn't know this obviously until I lost my identity, until I wasn't a part of a team anymore. And so I was kind of floundering for a while and not really able to figure out my purpose, my why, my raison d'etre, as my grandfather would say, my reason for being. And was actually getting ready to move back to Kansas because I just couldn't figure it out in California.
Mhm.
And someone invited me to play on their co ed football team. And I said yes. And so I came to that game and they didn't tell me they were 0 and 70. They'd never won a game in like 5 years. And I'm a super competitive person. And I grew up playing sports. I played basketball in college. So I'm like, what do you mean you're 0 and 70? How am I going to do this? So the funny thing is, we did end up winning that game, which was very exciting. And they said, you have to keep coming back and playing. You cannot move back to Kansas.
Mhm.
So I said, I'll play for one season.
Mhm.
And that season turned into, I've been in California for 18 years now. But it was that one invitation that kept me. And so, for those of you listening, think about all the different invitations in your
Mhm.
life, not obligation, but
Mhm.
invitations in your lives that led you to the next beautiful thing, right? And
Mhm.
kept you in a beautiful place and prevented you from holding yourself back and, right, really let you move through limiting beliefs and things like that. But what that
Mhm.
also led to, football, was a softball league invitation, a volleyball league invitation. So there's lots of different sports. So, AKA, I got my identity back, right? I'm a part of a team. I'm growing. This is cool. And through that,
Yeah.
because I was still very, very, very competitive, and I'm sure you probably even heard that in the words that I just used, like they're 0 and 70, they want me to play with them. What? Right. So very competitive. Someone from my co-ed softball team submitted me anonymously to a show that
Okay.
at the time was quote unquote called The Fierce Competitor. So that makes sense, right?
Uh-huh.
So they anonymously submitted me. The show producers called me and said, hey, someone from your co-ed softball league, they said that you need somewhere to unleash your inner competitive nature, not on the co-ed softball team. So never in a million years did I think that I was actually going to get selected. They told me they
Mhm.
had over 1 million applicants for this show. And
Mhm.
so they're like, we're going to bring, at the end of the day, we're going to bring 30 people to Louisiana. And then from there, we're going to select 12. So
Mm.
I'm like, okay, I'm never going to make it to the top 30, let alone am I going to make it to the top 12. So I just kind of released. And so that's another good
Mm.
lesson on surrender.
Mm.
Really, when you
Mhm.
surrender and you're not attached to something and you're not trying to control it. And I wasn't thinking, I have to get this. Otherwise, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not lovable enough. I'm not competitive, right? It wasn't any of that. I just fully released it. It's like, if I'm meant to be there, I'll end up there. If I'm not, then I'm not supposed to be there and the lessons aren't there for me, right?
Mm.
So, anyways, you know, obviously you mentioned it at the beginning. You all know I ended up in the cave. Now, I didn't know it was going to be a cave. I thought it was going to be like Amazing Race and we were going to be traveling around the
Mm.
world and climbing
Right.
crazy mountains. And I thought I would come back in the best shape of my life. And it was quite the opposite. And cue the name of the show, it was called Opposite Worlds. So half of us were living in the past in a cave, and the other half of the contestants were living in the future in a very futuristic home that they could speak to and they could have anything they wanted. So that is how I landed in living in a cave for 60 days.
Oh my God. Were you like alone or were you with other contestants?
Yeah, there were six of us in the cave and six in the home, the future home. So there was a total of 12 when we started.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So I love your lessons of like release. And if I was meant to be there, that's a hard concept though. It's like, I still hear the song, Let It Go, Let It Go. It's like, oh my God, these Frozen songs, like with my kids. But it's so on point when it comes to life and when it comes to manifestation as well. Because like if it was meant to be, it will happen. And just like this beautiful connection that I have with Lauren, I was like, it was just poof, pop up as like she had her contact, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna write to Lauren because I really love synergy. Like I believe like nothing ever happens for no reason or accidental. Like our lifetime, we're meant to kind of just meet, and sometimes people are meant to stay longer. Some people are just meant to kind of cross our path, and I'm so glad that our path crossed because my God, you are just, I don't know. I don't have the words for it. It's just speechless anyway. Just being in your energy is high frequency. And that's what I've been manifesting to the universe. So it is no surprise that you show up here and we are talking and having this beautiful connection. But if it was meant to be and you release and you don't have any expectation, that's the thing that really works out. I remember when I went for an interview job. And in the past, I used to be like, I gotta get that job. I gotta prove to them that I'm a good fit for that company. But there's many times that I went to the job and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do me. And if they like me and if they see the quality, then great. Then there will be a good match. Release and let go and then be yourself. And they always, always, they're like, you're our top pick. So I resonate with that so much, but so many concepts in life as well.
Yeah, and I think too, applying that to every area of our life, because when we bring that kind of desperate energy, it repels people. So whether that's a relationship, a romantic relationship, and you're pretty desperate, it's going to repel the person away. Friendships, same thing, it's going to repel. Job opportunities, right? Any kind of opportunity that we feel like, and that's the thing too, control is an illusion, right? So if we
Hmm.
think like, oh, I'm going to hold on to this so tight so I won't lose it, it's
Hmm.
not. It's really in that release too, because whenever we release, because if my hand is like this, I can't receive anything. There's no room for anything
Hmm.
to come in. As soon as I open, right,
I
then
like
release,
that.
I can receive. And so just being in that receiving posture on a regular basis will bring so many beautiful opportunities. And I think one other important thing to note from that experience in the beginning, when we came to Louisiana, we were sequestered to our hotel rooms for 10 days. And
Mm.
so this is kind of when this whole unplugging thing started coming into my sphere, even before going into the cave where there was nothing to plug into.
Yeah.
But, prior to 2020, there wasn't any time in my life where I'd ever like been kind of sequestered or like
Mhm.
told to be in one place and you can't leave. And
Mhm.
so with that hotel room, they actually took our hotel key, our room key, so we could not leave the room. They took out the technology, so there weren't TVs or anything in there for
Yeah.
us to be on, our phones, computers, nothing like that. And so we really were in this like beautiful place of unplug, which and not talking to anybody. It was kind of like a silent retreat. So, wow. So you're just in there with your thoughts. Mind you,
Yeah.
it takes a couple days to break the habit of reaching for your phone, right? Because just if you start to get bored, you're like, better get on and scroll. Let me go do this. But
Mhm.
you just had the opportunity to be with yourself, be with your thoughts. And in those 10 days, I felt like my nervous system was resetting. Like I was
Mhm.
experiencing internal healing of my cells. It was just
Mhm.
like a really beautiful thing because I was also getting a lot of sleep because there wasn't a lot else to do. And I was hydrated and all these things, these very simple things in life
Yeah.
that help us to continue moving forward and thriving were already happening. So in that space too, I was very much in a surrendered posture. Like I've learned so much in these 10 days. I could go home right now and be so happy and share all of these breakthroughs and ahas that have come up.
Mhm.
But if I'm meant to be at, like, I didn't even know it was a cave, but I'm like, if I'm still meant to be here and there's more lessons for me, then keep me here and we'll
Mhm.
see what happens. And I was definitely meant to be there because some people left after 24 hours and I was there for 2 months. So I'm like, there was a lot for me to learn. Wow. I'm like, okay, noted. Noted.
That is so beautiful and so powerful. And another thing that you said that really spoke to my heart is that when you were in your loss of identity, and that's really, really big. And that's why I created this movement of the Choose You, Choose Happiness, so that people can find themselves back home to who they were meant to be. The reason why you exist on this earth, because you are a magical and unique human being. There is a special power within you. So when you can come home back to who you are and realize all of that amazingness deep down inside, even though you feel like there's nothing amazing about me, that's what we say, but the treasure is hidden within. And I was reading Jack Canfield's book. It's called The Success Principle. And one of the story was about the gods who were trying to hold, like hide these treasure for the from away from the humans. So one of the gods said, "Let's hide deep down in the ocean, so no human can actually find it." And then somebody responded and said, "Well, if it's deep down in the ocean, somebody will eventually be able to go down deep in the ocean and they'll find that treasure. So let us hide high, high up top in the mountains." And then a reply said, well, up high in the mountain, somebody will also, the human will find it up in the mountain. But if we hide it deep down within them, they'll never think to look inside. Isn't that powerful?
Yes.
So it
Yes.
is deep
So powerful.
within us, that power that we have, even though we think we don't have it. And another thing that you said was like saying yes when you were losing your identity. It happens to all of us for different reasons. I know it happened to me for being married for 17 years and following my ex-husband because he was 19 years older than me. I put him on a pedestal. So everything I consulted him and I looked up to him. So I didn't have an identity of my own. So when I got divorced, I was like, who am I? Like I've lost track. I don't even know what my thoughts are, what my likes are. So I feel you, Lauren. And so when you said yes, an opportunity came in with this league of like sports, and you said, I don't know what this is all about, but let me just say yes to it. And that yes
Yeah.
opened door to many more yes to finding yourself. I thought it was beautiful. There are many times when people randomly just say yes to me. I'm like, you were meant to be on my path. Just like Lauren, you said yes. I said, come into this community. Let me interview you. You said yes. And look, we're making magic happen right now.
Because that's the beautiful thing is that we get to check in those
Mhm.
moments on whether it feels like an invitation or an obligation. And I think the invitations that you say yes to unlock and open so many doors. You'll never know until you're looking back and connect the dots, right? I could never know that I was when I'm sitting in that cave 35 days in wondering what in the world am I doing in here? It's to be able to track that all the way back to I'm about to move back to Kansas and someone invites me to play in their football league. I would never think that. I would
Mhm.
never, ever think that. But in the moment, that invitation to play football sparked joy inside of me. I thought, oh my gosh, a team playing competitive fun. Yes. And so sometimes it's like, I don't even really have to think about it. And then sometimes I like to put a hand on my heart, put a hand on my belly, and take a big inhale, think
Mhm.
about the thing. And if my shoulders go back and my chest opens and I expand, it's a
Mhm.
yes. And if I feel myself kind of contract forward, my shoulders kind of cave in, then it's a no, right? And the no
Mhm.
is when it feels like an obligation. Maybe it's an event or something that just isn't
Mhm.
in alignment with my core values anymore. Maybe at some point it was, but I'm pretty quick to know a contraction versus an expansion and a no versus a yes and an invitation versus an obligation. And I think everyone probably watching this can like tap in, tune in, turn on those feelings within them, and they know when it's invitation versus obligation. So yeah, saying yes to things that you have no idea, but it's like once you know kind of what you're talking about, your identity, it really for me was in the cave when I actually figured out my why, my
Mhm.
purpose, and like I said in the beginning, my raison d'etre. So my grandpa used to always say, as long as you know your raison d'etre, you'll keep moving forward. So raison d'etre in French, it means reason for being. I could never really pronounce it or spell it when I was young, and my grandpa was using it. But it's like now I'm like, this is the most
C'est quoi en
beautiful thing.
français? What is it that you said in French? Is la raison d'être?
Raison d'etre.
Ok, c'est ça, c'est la raison d'être. Ok, qu'est-ce que je veux French here? Got
Yes.
it.
Yep. So it's so funny because I took French in high school, and
Mhm.
my grandfather, when he was almost 90, he passed 3 days before his 90th birthday, but he had found my French book from high school. So it's like
Mhm.
how many years? I have no idea. And he was going through it and he was like practicing and using it as a workbook. And I just thought that was so sweet.
So
But anyways,
cute.
so
Uh-huh.
the why, I thought, okay, well, I'm not a professional athlete and I'm
Mhm.
not a professional musician. And I just thought that was it. I'm like, those are the things. Like, if you are one of those, you're talented, you're gifted, you know your why, you know your purpose. But then in the cave, when I had all of that space and
Mhm.
stillness and
Mhm.
silence, where I feel like the answers are actually revealed, right? Like, all the answers that ever were or ever will be are within us right now. Like you were saying, it's deep down inside of there. And we
Mhm.
have to unlock some layers, right? As soon as you have a breakthrough, it unlocks and then something else comes up and then you unlock and something else comes up, right?
Mhm.
For you to work on and to release. But in the cave, after having so much time to think and also just space inside my mind to get clarity, I realized, okay, you're really good at bringing people together. You're really good at gathering people. Everyone calls you the human connector because you're
Mhm.
constantly like, you should meet this person, and here's a great job for you, and here's a good doctor you could go to, and you're just bringing people together. And I feel like for me, it just comes naturally. It just
Mhm.
downloads right into my brain of who needs to connect. But through that, I realized that my why
Mhm.
is to facilitate relationships so
Mhm.
that we can live in a more connected world. And I
Ooh.
get to do that every single day. I get to live out my purpose. I get to live out my full potential every single day because I can always find a way in my day to connect someone, to bring
Mhm.
someone together, which is also why I facilitate workshops and events and retreats and I'm able to bring people together for connection. But this is also like knowing, oh, Ree should meet Kyle, like whoever it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually take the time right now to send that voice note and
Mhm.
connect them instead of putting it on my checklist or my to-do
Mhm.
list. I'm just gonna do it right now. And you
Mhm.
never know what that invitation, that connection could lead to for them. And so I am just like this huge cheerleader of everyone. I want to see everyone win. I want to see
Yeah.
everyone happy. And
Yes.
so anything that I can do to facilitate that, I'm all in and I try to do it in a timely manner.
Oh my God. It speaks so much to my heart because I'm all about celebrating other people. And I think like when I have like a download or a connection or somebody that I want to introduce to, it's doing it now because putting it later on a checklist, it's easy to forget. I'm like, I think in my zone of genius is like doing shit right away. It's like because I know I have these memory that forgets. So if I don't
Yeah.
do it right away, it's never gonna happen. So, and the other thing
Yeah.
too, like, just to give you a goosebump story really quickly, Lauren, was the day when I was supposed to go on Kyle's master class and you were supposed to present, and I saw your name, I saw the bio, I was like, oh my God, she sounds so amazing. But I was so exhausted and tired with, the day and the kids and everything, and it was late at night because we are in Eastern and it was at 8:30 at night. So I was like, oh my God, do I go? And then I just quieted down, like you said, and I checked in with myself. How do I feel and what is coming up? And something in a voice inside said, you gotta go and see Lauren because this woman is amazing. And I'm so glad I did because like it would have been there was like 90% that convinced me you're not going to miss anything. You're going to be able to watch it over because he records it. Kyle records it. You can review, you can take all of the lesson to download. And then there's that percent that is like, yeah, but this 10% really matters to most. So open up your laptop and attend. And I'm so glad I freaking did it.
Well, it's so cool because my friends and I have this motto, show up. Like
Mhm.
just show up to your life, show up for your friends, show up for yourself, just show up and watch the magic unfold. But the
Yeah.
other part of that story is that after that call, you texted me within 10 minutes,
Yeah.
inviting me to come speak. So that's you taking action immediately and not waiting. So even though you were tired and 90% of yourself didn't even want to show up,
Mhm.
afterwards, you still took the time to write the most beautiful message. I even screenshotted it because this is the nicest message ever. And that was how you got my yes because of the message that you sent. And so I
Aw.
just think it's really beautiful because all the things we're talking about happened in that example right there of, oh, I'm not really sure. Let me tap in. It's a yes. Okay, I'm going. I'm showing up. And again, we still don't even know this is all unfolding. We don't know where all this is going to lead to.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just cool because the action, taking action that quickly, because I think
Mhm.
that call was I was in Kansas. I think it was the night before my mom's birthday. So I don't even think it's been a week. I don't even think it's been a week
No,
ago
it hasn't been a week
that
at
that
all.
happened.
I was
And
like,
here you
I said,
are.
boom, boom. I was like, wow. Like, as soon as you got the message, you were on a flight. You said, I'm going to answer you right away. You booked the call. I was imagining, it's going to be down the road 2, 3 weeks or maybe in the new year. I was totally chill and relaxed. And then I said, I'm going to go and check on my calendar to see when Lauren actually booked it. I was like, that's in 2 days. I was like, man, this girl is really all about action. I'm loving it.
Well, there's also a funny caveat to that too, right? Because I thought that call was just you and I gonna that we were gonna connect on what we were gonna talk about. But this is where there's no, like you said, there's no
Yeah.
accidents, only alignment. It was meant
Hmm.
to be that we were talking right now, not in
Hmm.
2 weeks, not in 3 weeks. Something that is being said today from you, from me, from somebody listening, just something that it's going to stir within them is going to get them to take action before the end of the year. So this was
Hmm.
meant to happen in
Yes.
2025, not
Yes.
2026, because there's something that we're all going to do. There's some action that we're all going to take from this that's going to change the trajectory of our 2026 and our life. I believe that.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. And here's one thing that I want to be able to offer the audience, but I also wanted to share my heart towards you because I know you're going to love this. So, I had to create it with my entrepreneur community because I'm all about believing in amplifying other entrepreneur because being an entrepreneur can get extremely solo and can really be difficult. So I saw the struggle of the entrepreneur. I've been there before, and I said, I refuse to let other entrepreneur play all by themselves. So I created a community of other entrepreneurs to really celebrate them, to help them be successful in their business because they're all heart like centered leader. And so we did this party of come as you be party for 2025 to have the vision of your successful self already for 2026. So here's what I created for myself, and I want the audience to see themselves in terms of possibility, where right now our mind cannot visualize it, but out there it is
Yeah.
already existing. The paradigm, the parallel of who you are successful in the dream that you want, he or she already exists. So let me read this to you because I think you're gonna
Yes,
love it. It's gonna
please.
give goosebumps. So
Yeah.
and I also want to give an inspiration to my beautiful community of choosing more of themselves every single day, one little action at a time. And I still remember your story, how you ran a mile every single day until eventually it became like, and you were so scared, petrified that you can even get out of the house. How are you going to be able to live and fly again? You can't even step out of the home, but you did one commitment that just altered the courses of your life. And that is very powerful. So let me
Oh,
share this and I'm going to go and get it. Okay, so I texted to myself. I didn't plan on this at all. It just, like I said, I really believe like it kind of like the download. I don't know if you believe in that, but
yeah.
I just sense these things. And then I think that the community will really love it too. Let me just go. I text
Perfect.
so many things to myself sometimes. Yeah.
Me too. Me too.
This is my way of keeping myself on track. Okay. All right. Okay, so because everything that's happening right now in Cambodia, I wrote a whole bunch like for my people in Cambodia with Thailand invading our country and really for political reasons and stuff. I'm not political, but it has been a part of my mind where my heart is at. So I wrote a lot of motivational stuff. So it's been kind of in my text here. But I think I got it. Let me get this. Okay, here it is. All right, you ready, Lauren?
Ready. I'm ready. Ready to receive.
Okay.
All open.
All right, I love it. Okay. So here it is. Come as you be. Okay. The life that Ree leads is rooted in peace, calm, and intentionality. I don't wake up rush. I don't start my day before 11 and maybe not even before noon. My morning are sacred. I live in a space that feels so zen, tranquil, and nourishing. A home surrounded by nature where the water is crystal clear, aqua and green, so pure you can see it straight through. A place that slows the nervous system the moment you arrive. My day begins with presence, time with myself, time with my partner, time with my children. I move my body because I love it. Tennis, soccer, the gym, not because I'm forcing discipline, but because vitality is my standard. I work maybe 3 to 4 hours a day maximum. Only meeting that truly matters, conversation that feels aligned. I'm known globally for my work. After giving my TED Talk, my message traveled faster than I can ever possibly imagine. I no longer chase opportunity because energy just comes to me. I'm a billionaire. I'm declaring it. I am a billionaire, not because I work harder, but because I've learned to protect my energy, clarity, and my vision. People gravitate toward me. They want to work with me. They want to be in proximity to the frequency that I hold. And twice a year, I host something rare. And exclusive invitation only experience, a celebration on my yacht, which Lauren is actually on right now.
Out, but I'm there.
Exactly, exactly. Surrounded by people I know, trust, and deeply respect. It is part growth, part learning, part pleasure, and fully unforgettable. My partner and I also host 4 retreat minimum per year in a breathtaking location everywhere around the world. Beautiful places, high frequency human, deep connection, real transformation. I speak where I want to speak. I travel when I choose to travel. And when I don't, I am home, present, grounded, and fulfilled. I host my own TV show, The Montreal Love Cupid. Welcome to Ree's show. I love it. This is the Cambodian way of doing it. Bring it in. I love it. Airing on Netflix, Crave, and HBO, where love, human connection, and truth are explored with depth, elegance, and courage. I also stored a rare and highly sought after Zen garden, open only on special occasion and intentional occasion. A living sanctuary composed of exotic flowers and plants, rare birds, butterfly, and other species, some on the brink of extinction, that I help nurture, protect, and preserve. It is a place of reverence, beauty, deep calm, where nature and humanity coexist in harmony. Beyond my work, giving back is woven in everything that I do. I run fundraising event for veterans, filled with playful, silly, and joy center family activity, raising money while creating connection and lightness. I do this in honor of my sister, as she and I used to run marathons together. It is my way of turning love and remembrance into service. I also created the T Chain Duong Foundation, offering scholarship to college and university students who come from underprivileged neighborhood and cannot access education. This foundation carries my sister's name and legacy forward, ensuring that opportunity, dignity, and hope continue to ripple outward. I've written 3 more books of the Choose You, Choose Happiness series. The movement has grown beyond me. Billboards, stages, community around the world, yet my life feels simpler than ever. This is the life I've chosen, and today I get to step into yours. So come as you be, dress in the version who live with ease, move like the person who trusts themselves completely, speak like someone who knows their life is expanding. This isn't fantasy, this is alignment. Welcome to the high frequency. Woohoo!
I'm inspired.
Oh.
I'm ready to write mine.
I love it. I think for 2025, why
Yeah,
not imagine your mind can create so many things if you allow yourself to visualize and see it. When
yeah,
you can see and picture it, it all starts with a thought. And then if you can visualize it and hone in that emotion, I
yeah,
remember as a kid, my dad always tell me, if Ree puts her mind into anything, she can make it happen. There is no such thing as the impossible. And even though I know that life sometimes feels like, I don't know if I can make it, but if you just keep that flame going and if you just keep putting one foot in front of you, and keep going, keep marching. I know Bruce Lee used to do that. He had a thing that he's written where it just, I might quote it wrong, but he had a thing where it reminded him just to keep putting into action every day, one step forward. And I know when I lost my sister, I felt like I just wanted to cave in and just throw in the towel and just cries my eyes out and go, what's the point? Because we were like twin sister and we had said we wanted to create a mission to empower people to make a huge impact in the world. And so when she left this, where I was like, what? Like, I can't do this on my own. And so when I was down on the ground, I said, I have 2 options. I have the option of throwing in the towel. Nobody would blame me for, we can all understand and sympathize. Or I had the other option, which is to stand up despite all of the pain and the fear and then celebrate her because I got the privilege to be her older sister for 30 amazing years, and she still live on through me in all of the work that I do. So that's what I've chosen. Mhm.
Yeah, amen. I think that's the most beautiful part is that we have the thought that we're alone. It's when my grandfather passed, I thought, how am I going to do life without him? And I literally heard him be like, I'm right here with you. I am like,
Yes.
I'm more in proximity to you now than I was. And I have my grandfather's ashes on all different kinds of places, but he's like, on my desk his picture and then his ashes, and I'm like, oh, you are so much closer to me now. You're not like, I don't have to fly to see you, you're right here and I can carry you with me everywhere. And so that perspective shift, and I remember what it was is I was looking at the photo of him,
Hmm.
I was looking at his ashes, and I thought, oh, you're not lost. You're not gone. You just changed form. You were in
Mm.
this physical form, and now you're in this form, right? And so the legacy of your sister gets to live on through you, and you're definitely creating and building all of this together with her, and and through her, and all of that I think is so beautiful, and that you have that positive perspective that can allow you to, like you said, keep putting one foot in front of the other and to never give up.
Yeah. And you know what? I got to talk to her after she passed away. There's a part of me, I'm like, I feel like a missing puzzle with her not being there. And you know how you do a puzzle, you like there's 1,000 puzzle, you figure it all out, and there's that one missing puzzle. You're like, oh, God damn. I was like,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
piece that in.
yeah.
And I was like, but you're like the missing puzzle, sister, that you're not there. And she just looked at me. I'm like, I'm right with you. I'm not missing. You can fill in that missing puzzle. And it's like tough love. She's like, basically, she said to me, stop your crying, wipe those tears up. I don't want to hear no wimpy cry right now. Like, you're still alive. You got a mission to do. Let me kick ass in the other world, and you do you on earth until we meet again. So from that moment, I was like, all right, I'll dry all my tears. I'm gonna keep moving. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'll figure out a way. So I love your story, and your connection with your grandfather is amazing. I want to be able to ask you this as well because we're coming close to that hour is I want to be able to ask you when you actually found your identity and you felt your grandfather so close to you. And I think that's really important because we're never alone. We are walking a path like of our ancestor from generation before, the people that are deeply meaningful to us. They are with us, even though if it feels sometimes like you're so by yourself. How did you make it through in those days of going like people gave up? Like people are like, this is not for me. What kept you going, Lauren? Like it would be totally understandable for you to go, I don't have to do this 60 days. I've already kind of got into this experience. I took the lesson that I needed. What was the thinking behind it?
So you're specifically asking about what kept me in the cave, like what kept
Yeah.
me going there when every time I wanted to give up.
Yeah.
You know, my grandfather was still alive during that time, and he was actually having open heart surgery. And I
Mm.
was just thinking about all the things that he had overcome in his life. There was so many different trials and challenges and struggles, and he always met every struggle and every challenge with the biggest smile on his face. And I think he always looked at all of those things like opportunities to grow
Mm.
and to expand, and that
Mhm.
he knew he was never any place by accident, that he was perfectly planted in all the different places and the different work that he did in the different classrooms he was in and the different churches he was in. It was all perfect. And so wherever he was,
Mhm.
I always said, like, be where your feet are, because wherever he was is where he was. Where his feet were is where he was. So he was so present. He was so present with everyone. And that's why everyone had this really positive experience about him. And so I kept thinking about my grandfather when I was in the cave and all the lessons and all the things that he had taught me. One of them was the cream will always rise to the top. And so
Mm.
for so long, here's the thing about my grandfather also. He told the same stories over and over and over. He said the same quotes over and over and over. And when you're young, when you're a kid, you're like, Grandpa, yeah, you've already told me that. Or why do you always say the same thing all the time? But
Yeah.
when you get older and
Mhm.
wiser, you realize that repetition breeds results. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to be saying the same thing over and over and over and telling the same stories until you get it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a quote I read, it was on my desk. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. I read
Mm-hmm.
that every day for 150 days. I didn't actually get it. And I'll tell you why I didn't get it. I thought I did because I was reading it every day. But every time I saw fear, I turned the other way and ran as fast as I could away from fear, which
Uh-huh.
means I didn't really get the quote. Everything you've
Mm-hmm.
ever wanted is on the other side of fear. So why would you run away from it instead of to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you use fear as your North Star, the blinking light that says, come this way? Everything you want is over here, right? And make fear your friend. And I remember once seeing something on fear that said, face everything and rise. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just those kind of things where my grandfather would instill these things in me and get me to learn these things. And so with the cream will always rise to the top, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, ugh, I would like not get the guy I wanted, I wouldn't get the grade or like something.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be like, come here, Lauren, sit down, sit down. Let me tell you this thing again. The cream will always rise to the top. And what it actually means is that there are people that get to the top really fast. And
Mm-hmm.
we're like, how did that happen? And some people absolutely deserve it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people lie, cheat, steal, step on other people, push them down to get there. And then it's not sustainable. They're not going to stay at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But when you tell the truth, you have integrity, you show up for the people in your life, you have patience, perseverance, all of that. Eventually, you will get to the top and it's sustainable. You'll get to stay at the top. So you might have to work for it a little bit longer. And sometimes it feels like you're doing all the right things and somebody else is cheating, but they get there faster. But that's not the right way. And so that's something that my grandfather instilled. And I thought, okay, I'm sitting in the cave, like it seems like everyone else is doing better here, but the cream will rise to the top. And I had to believe that. And something else when you were reading your manifesto, I
Mm-hmm.
believed everything you were saying as if it's already true, like that already
Oh.
is your life. Everything that you said is real. And it made me think about for myself when I want something and I'm believing it to be true. If there's 1% of doubt,
Mm-hmm.
then that's 100% uncertainty. That means
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it. And if I don't believe it, it's not going to come true. So number one is like having the belief that it already is here, it is already done, it is already yours, it's already mine, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the kind of things in the cave that I kept thinking about. Like, okay, I can't have any doubt here. Like, fear is my friend. Fear can be there. Fear has propelled me to so many things. And I learned that when I finally ran toward fear. And then on the other side was what I wanted. But it's like that's that part of we could say things and not get it, which
Mm-hmm.
is why we got to say it so many times until we actually get it. And how we know we got it is that we change our behavior and we get a
Mm-hmm.
new result. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So those are
Mm-hmm.
kind of the things in the cave. I was pulling from the stuff my grandfather had instilled in me. And one other thing he always used to say was kiss, like keep it simple, silly, or
Mm-hmm.
sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I thought, okay, keep it simple. Like, here's the truth. You're in the cave, you're with a couple people, you're
Mm-hmm.
not eating that much. This is really hard, but it's also temporary. This too
Mm-hmm.
shall pass. You
Yeah.
will get through this and you will be stronger and you will have a crazy story to tell. And over a decade later, you're going to be telling it with Ree and her community. You're meant to be here because this is the thing that the story that forever people are going to want to hear about. It's the story I wrote about in the book with Kyle. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's crazy that that's the thing. If I would have said no to that, that's the main thing that anybody ever wants me to talk about.
Mhm. Oh my God, you're such a genius. There's so much I like pull out of it. I even wrote it down. Like on the other side of fear is like, what is it that I wrote down here? Everything you ever want is on the other side of fear. And I love the fact that you said repetition. I was like, what is the other word? Repetition. I just wrote repetition is mastery, but I don't think that's what you said. Is repetition is
Breeds results. So
breeds results.
repetition equals results. The more we
Love it.
repeat something, the more we actually get that within our being. It actually soaks in, sinks in, and then we change our behavior, we take a different action, and we get a new result.
And it's so true because everything with regards to repetition, I think I often quote Bruce Lee because he is one of my model in so many ways because he bridged there. He don't see colors. He don't
Mhm.
believe in one tradition like martial art is something. And I believe in somebody who makes things all inclusive, like inclusive. Like I
Yeah.
believe in diversity. I believe in difference. That's what makes us amazing because then we get the best flavor out of everything. And here's re as I'm talking, I'm thinking of food. I'm salivating over food because I love travel and I love food. I'm sorry, my brain
Yeah.
just went somewhere else. But and that's what he basically said. Don't fear the man that does like a kick, like something, but fear the man that does a kick like 10,000 times. It's because when you do repetition, you breed result. You become that result. And I love what you said about doubt, like even 1% of doubt. I know Dwayne Dyer, famous. I love his book. And he said, when you really want to call it manifesting thing, if doubt comes into your mind, it will come into your mind. But you are in a position of power. You are the master of your destiny. You can choose to visualize and see that doubt and just pause it outside. You gate it with everything that you can. You are that guardian. You can choose and say, you know what? Thank you so much for coming in. I know you want to protect me, but it's not serving me. So let me park it here. So that's how I see it. So there is so many things that is so powerful in this discussion right now. I don't even know where to start, but I want to be able to honor your time as well. I want to ask you this, like if you were to part, if you were to say to your younger self when you're looking at 21, you were completely lost and with everything that you have accomplished because you accomplished so much and that is just still the tip of the iceberg, Lauren. You still have way more to conquer. So many amazingness. But if you could speak to your younger self, what's three lessons you would impart to her with all of the things that your wonderful grandfather actually passed on to you?
Yeah. The first thing would be you're not late. You're right on time for your own personal journey, right? You're not
Yeah.
behind. You're showing
Mhm.
up on time and stop looking at what everybody else is doing and feeling like you're late to the party or you're too far behind or you're never going to catch up. Like you have a personal journey, you have a personal gift to share with the world, and you'll always be on time for that. So I think
Mhm.
that would be the first thing because I think for so long I thought I'm behind, I'm late, everyone's doing these things,
Yeah.
before me, they're way faster than me. But no, it's all in perfect timing and it's all in aligned timing. I would say the other thing is you can't say the wrong thing to the
Mhm.
right person. You can't
Yes,
say
I
the wrong
love
thing
that
to the
phrase.
right person. So speak your truth, right? The
Mhm.
right ones will stay, the others will just fade away, and it's all okay.
Mhm.
It's all perfect.
Mhm.
So whenever you have that thing burning inside you that you want to share and you're afraid to share with that person or your boss or whatever, like share it because if it's aligned, it'll work out, it'll bring you closer.
Mhm.
I think the other thing would be that to always keep moving forward no matter what the roadblock looks like. When it's a roadblock, it doesn't mean turn around and go back to where you came from. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to hurdle over this thing. I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting around this
Mhm.
roadblock. I don't want to go back to where I went. I don't need to go back there to learn anything. So it's like one foot in front of the other and knowing that every ending is just the beginning of something else. Right? Every single
Mhm.
ending, it's just the beginning. You close the chapter, you close the book, you open a new book, you turn to the next chapter. So I know endings always feel really scary. Change feels really scary. And it's really beautiful what comes next because you're never, it's like, think of a staircase. If you get let go from your job or you end a relationship, something doesn't work out, you're not going back down the stairs. You're actually still taking a step up. You're still going up the stairs because you can't unlearn everything you learned from that last relationship, from that last job, from that last experience, from that last travel adventure. So no matter what, even when it looks like it's a
Mhm.
step back. It's not, I try to think about a bow and arrow, right? So
Mhm.
a bow and arrow, you have to pull back so
Mm-hmm.
that you can actually launch past where you were. You may have
Mm-hmm.
plateaued in that position or in that relationship. So taking this pullback, it's not a step back, it's a pullback just so you can launch further than where you were before. And so I always think about that when anything kind of ends, or especially if it's something ending that I didn't really want to end yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, okay, I'm going to catapult. I'm going to, step back here to push forward past where I was, but I'm always going up the stairs. I'm never going back because I already learned those lessons and I get to take them with me.
Oh my God, they're so good. I mean, I met so many amazing people on my podcast, but Lauren, you got a gift of what your grandfather gave you, KISS, the motto of KISS. You keep it so simple. You have an analogy that makes like it's mind blowing. I'll remember the cream will always rise to the top. I like all of these different saying, the bow and arrow that you pull, you got to go back to actually launch forward. I love everything on what you said. Like there's so many things in there. Like my mind is going crazy right now. It's on like this party mode right now. It's just like but I love what you said of like you're not late, you're right on time. And that is so true. Many of us feel like we're always constantly comparing and looking to the left and the right. And I always remember Danica, who does car racing, because I'm a chick who loves competition and speed. So,
Yes,
so she
yes.
always said her father always taught her, don't look back, always keep looking to where you want to go, hone in that focus. So I love that. The other thing that what you said as well that I really, really, truly enjoyed because every single one, it's so dead on. If everything that Lauren had mentioned, you only remember one of them, that was the message meant for you. You don't need to grasp everything. You need to just remember what really speaks to you. And I say this to my coaching clients all the time. You can never say the wrong thing to the right partner. So you could get messed up going on a date and you're blurting out things. You're like following a script of all of the things that I taught you. And you're like, damn it, I messed it up. It wasn't supposed to go like that. Read and teach me to. But if you're saying it to the right person, he'll hear it, she'll hear it, and it will be in alignment and you will create something out of that. It's just, I really teach people how to just be themselves and stand in their power. So I want to be able to do this. Lauren, what do you got going on so that we can rally and celebrate? What project that you got? I know you got retreat coming up as well. So talk to us so that we can support you and stand behind you to help you celebrate and bring that in.
Course, of course. So right now we have two retreats that are coming up. So in April, we're doing Unplugged in Yosemite. So
Mm-hmm.
that be, I think it's April 16th through the 20th. And we do hiking adventures, workouts, mindset workshops. We have a private chef that cooks all of our meals. And really, it's all about the community. I always ask people, which workshop or workout did you like the best? They're like,
Mm-hmm.
I liked the conversation I had with this person at dinner, or the car ride to the hike and the conversation we were all having in the car. So it really is about connection and community. That's what people come for.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next international retreat is in Spain, as you mentioned in the beginning, the Camino de Santiago.
Yeah.
And that is a pilgrimage, that is a walking retreat. So for the actual Camino is 500 miles. We don't do that many for the retreat. That usually takes people almost 45 days to 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we do 5 days of walking. We walk into Santiago. So people get to get their certificate of completion and see Santiago. And that is one of, I always say, like, I have right now the top three experiences in my life. One you mentioned at the beginning as well was hiking Kilimanjaro in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Two was living in the cave for 60 days,
Yeah.
just because I grew and expanded the most in those. So they would, it's not like vacation, right? But then the Camino, because the encounters that you have on the Camino, the conversations, and really, I believe the pace of the Camino is the pace that life is meant to be lived. So
Mhm.
those are the two that we have coming up that we're really excited about. And a project, I guess, I like you love charity work, and I'm always figuring out how to get involved and how to make things fun and a
Mhm.
win-win for everyone. So right now we are helping raise money for a charity called With My Own Two Hands, and they
Mhm.
provide clean water and nourishing food to families in East Africa. So the
Mm,
way that we made it fun is we created walks. And so we have a goal of reaching 200 miles as a
mhm,
collective before the end of the year and raising money. So we've done quite a few walks, and people have been walking all over in Kansas and Montana and California. And then they just tell me, hey, we walked 3 miles and we donated $30. And
mm.
$30 actually provides clean water for one person.
Wow.
So that's just like an easy, like, okay, $30, I know one person is getting clean water. And I think that just for me, I take advantage, like, for granted that I just have clean water at any time in my
Mhm.
home. I do not have to go for a walk to get
Yeah.
clean. I love walking. I walk every day because I can and because I enjoy it, not because it's a because it is a privilege, but not because I have to do that. And I just think about how many things we need water for. So that's just something like side that we're doing and that we're excited about. But yeah, I would love to meet anyone from your community and just have a conversation and see how I can support.
I love that. I love that. And I love the walk because honestly, like when you like in my country, like waters are not, easily there. And so for us, we can enjoy the walk. We choose to walk. But for some other people in Africa, they have to walk long, long distance just to go get like the bare minimum and like in comfort. Like just some days I'm really exhausted. I'm just sitting in my couch to go get water in my kitchen.
Right,
I don't even
right.
want to get up. Can you imagine if I have to
I
walk for
know,
miles?
I know. But also to take a bath, to brush your teeth, to
Yeah.
wash your clothes, like you need all of this water, and it's still not even that great of water. And then
Mhm.
you've got to bring it back. Yeah, and it's the kids are doing it too. And we actually met one of the families in Uganda, and they've had two children that fell into the well trying to get water that drowned in there. And that just like breaks my heart. And then they can't use the well anymore and I'm like, this stuff doesn't even cross my mind. Like I would
Mhm.
never think of those things. And so I'm like, in any way that we can help, I always love to do that.
Yeah, and it reminds me of when I was in the refugee camp. Like I lived in the refugee camp for 9 years in Thailand, and we had
Wow.
this beautiful family from France. They had a little tiny daughter. I still have their picture of them, and they sponsor us by like every month giving us like a $30 thing. But $30 ha was huge for
Yeah.
our family. And those people, till this day, in my memory, I still have the image of them in their memory. Like one day, I hope to be able to find them and just say, thank you. Thank you for what you do. You believe, you saw, and you sponsor for my siblings, my three other siblings. That touched me forever because you never know what impact it can actually do for another family or children. I love your vision. And the one in May, what date is it? Just so that I know.
May 27th through June 2nd in Spain.
June 2nd. Okay, perfect. That sounds good. That's, oh my God, it's so powerful. Lauren, I love having you. I'm gonna have you come back because you're just like, just wisdom just exude through you, but you deliver in such a genius way, in such a simplistic and very digestible manner that just really leaves an imprint in people's mind. I know it definitely did on mine. So thank you so much for your amazingness. How do people reach out to you if they're like, I want to connect with Lauren. I want to know and hear more about her story and hear about her cave story or whatever other story they might have. So how do they reach you, Lauren?
Of course. So Instagram is super easy. It's at Lauren L. Donohue, Donahue. My email is Lauren L. Donohue at Gmail. And then our website is unpluggedwithlauren.com.
And you definitely want to check out her 9 step of unplug. I got the privilege to it. I wrote every so much note to it, but another time for that. But it's so, so good. Lauren, I'm gonna let you close it off with your amazing quote that has served you well in your life that you can leave as an inspiration. I know you shared so much wisdom already here, but let's close this off with a quote that really speaks to your heart that you can impart with my community.
I think because the quote that I connect most with is the cream will always rise to the top. But I think it's just like believe in yourself. Like it's not even really a quote. It's just like really actually believe 100% in your what you can accomplish in this world, how you show up in this world, because that's the thing that's going to propel you and keep you moving forward when you are doubting, when you're not feeling your best, when struggles and trials and all of that comes. It's just like really keep believing in yourself and what you're capable of, and use the manifesto that Ree
Mhm.
shared, like create yours, and read that to yourself every single day. Remind yourself how beautiful you are, and how loved you are, and how much that you can accomplish in this world when you believe in yourself.
That is so powerful. And if you struggle in believing in yourself, because I know it happens to me, is
Mm-hmm.
that borrow the strength. Like I'll borrow the strength from Lauren. Like if she was able to climb that mountain and able to be surviving all of these different things and losing her identity, and then I think something of what you said really speaks to me is that when you sign up and you said yes to playing sport and then you discover joy,
Yeah.
that is the frequency you want to chase more
Yeah.
for. And the reason why I chose it to choose you, choose happiness is that when you're vibrating in joy and in happiness and love, that
Yeah.
is one of the highest frequency you can actually, and when you're pouring, being of service to other,
Yeah.
the world, the universe will always reward you. Lauren, it was such a privilege to have you on. Thank you for saying yes. I love this.
Yes. Thanks for having me. This was a joy, truly a joy.
Yes.
So much fun. I feel energized. I feel inspired. I'm excited to share some of what you shared on here with the people in my life now.
Thank you so much. On that note, guys, happy holiday to you. You're going to see me here and there, but I want to wish you and your family a happy and safe holiday. Bye, guys.
Bye.